you bring up a good point. Proactive policing is dead.
Oh, it's dead. Oh, it's gone. And you know
It's
who
dead.
hates? You know who hates proactive policing? And I hope they're watching this. The federal government.
Right?
They hate going and talking to people because, per their view, there is always some sort of implicit bias as to why you picked that person if they're any other ethnicity or race besides what you are. That's it.
Yep.
It's not that they're there and they shouldn't be there because this is a neighborhood where people don't walk around at night, and you're walking at night and there's been a string of car burglaries and you have a backpack on, and there's none of that matters. To the feds, it's you only pick them because you're A and they are B, C, or D.
Yeah,
That's it. The feds hate it. And every agency, and I at one time was a member of an agency that was under monitorship, they hate proactive policing. Yeah. Now, like calls for service, they're totally good with because you're called there, you respond, you don't have a choice. But traffic stops, which is proactive, obviously that's in my wheelhouse, and those like consensual contacts on the street where you could have a pre-stop perceived ethnicity of someone, man, they hate that. And that's one of the things is the more and more agencies that the DOJ puts under monitorship, and these monitors go and take over because they're looking for bias, what they're doing is killing police departments and they're making communities less safe. And that's what happened in an agency very close to here.
And it's not just that, it's the internal policies as well that are becoming an issue. You're basically forcing these officers to be call takers, and that's it.
Like firefighters, man. It's cool. Yeah. We eat chili. We should eat chili. Have recliners. I want a recliner.
Beans or no beans?
Oh, beans.
Beans, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm a beans guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that's a northern thing, like for where I'm from, but I like beans and chili.
Yeah. I'm a New Yorker.
I'm kind of like the more shit you throw in there, the better.
I don't care what you put in there. I don't. I like adobo peppers. Like get a little smoky spice in there, dude. All day long, man.
I'm down. But yeah, the internal policies have slowed down proactive policing. You're making cops just be call takers. It takes, and I'm gonna fall back on this, not just because I recently became one. This is what I've believed ever since I started in policing, and it's because my dad was a cop and I saw him. I grew up with this stuff, so. It's the supervisor. They are the backbone of the department. And if your supervisor isn't promoting proactive police work, he's doing a disservice to the minds of these future police. And you have to teach them, show them, and more importantly, back them when they're out there doing this proactive stuff. Because when they do proactive stuff, they increase the odds that they get in the shit. And when they get in the shit, what do they need? They need protection. Yep. And not protection from doing something corrupt. They need protection from innocently trying to do their job and screwing up because they're human and they're learning.
Which is, by the way, it's the best way to learn. The best way to learn, and that's some of the best guys in my office are guys who are getting into it and then have figured out their way to properly articulate their use of force. Like they used force, it was the appropriate use of force. Everything they did was right. And then it comes time to write the report. And they're like, I assisted the subject to the ground. You didn't assist shit.
Right.
Like you leg swept him and then you piled on him.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like that. And somewhere along the lines, they're taught that using force is bad. And that's wrong.
It starts with the supervisor. Because what does a supervisor do when they know they got to do paperwork now? Like we call them blue teams where we're at. Oh,
blue team. Yeah, we've used blue team before too.
Yeah, they're like, I got to do a blue team. Oh,
who cares?
When?
It's
like
literally
I
your
look
job.
forward to them.
It's literally
your job. Now don't get me wrong. I do get annoyed when it's an accident one.
Yeah, we have a lot of those.
I'm like because it's not me using any sort of expertise. It's me trying to make sure that you don't get screwed or it's just me looking at it and trying to like, there's no police work involved in it is what I should say. It's just me going, oh, you violated policy.
Shuffle paper.
Preventable. Paper. Yeah. You're screwed. And because most accidents, you can do some level of preventable. The latest one that I worked, the officer wasn't in his vehicle, so it wasn't his fault.
Oh,
I
hey,
was like, "You're
that's
good to go,
the
bro."
best preventability is
Yeah, yeah,
leaving your
and
car.
so, but on a use of force, I get excited because I'm a use of force expert. I only not only taught control tactics, like I helped teach the use of force report writing and stuff like that. So for me, I like that because it's my chance to give back as a supervisor, to show you I got your back. I'm going to walk you through this and teach you so you don't make the mistakes that so many other
Yep,
supervisors have done for
absolutely.
their, because they don't know any better. And I'm not
It
blink.
is a disservice that those supervisors do to their subordinates when
Yes.
they're rubber stamping substandard uses of force,
Yes.
where if they had your level of expertise, they could be more articulate in what they did,
Yes.
instead of, hey, I need the subject. What did you
Yeah.
do? Use the knee strike to the common peroneal. Common
Right.
peroneal is a large nerve that runs on the outside of the leg. It's like you could expand on that,
Yeah.
and your level of expertise teaches that, and
Yep.
you could teach that to someone. The next time they write that report, you don't have to teach them anymore. Now
Yeah.
they're understanding that a baton strike to a large muscle group, whether it be shoulders, whether it be legs, whether it be ankles, whether it be buttocks, no matter, those are those are that is how we're taught,
Yeah.
and it falls into policy under the right circumstances. And the vast majority of uses of forces that I see are 100%. They are on the low end of what's acceptable. Like,
Right.
you could have gone harder and
Right.
faster, but because you're scared of policy, you're scared of blue team, you're scared of your supervisor, whatever it may be, you dial it down, and maybe that fight goes for another minute. Where if you just would have used a closed fist strike, you could have contained that subject quicker, taking them into custody and eliminating the possibility of future injury. Sometimes you just need. I mean, we are in a violent job. I was talking with my sheriff recently, and he said, "Hey, we do a job that doesn't look good on camera," and he's right. I mean, it's this. Well, what about the how about the headline test? Sometimes the headline test reads deputy punch subject in the face, and you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes you have to punch someone in the face. It is the appropriate use of force to take someone into custody that's actively resisting you, and that very brief, very violent use of force eliminates that guy getting back in his car and now committing aggravated assault, or um, continuing to fight and kicking you and tearing a tendon in your knee, or breaking your partner's finger while he's trying to take him into custody. Or if you just would have punched him in the face like you should have when you were given the opportunity at first, you eliminate all of the subsequent issues that come from not being violent. And I use force very, very seldomly. I really do. I think, like you, our gift of gab allows us to talk more people into handcuffs than we fight
Yeah.
them